It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. It's Wednesday, and that means it's Working Women Wednesdays here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, a weekly feature here of this on this show. And if you're also finding my show for the first time on the airwaves, keep in mind this show is on weekdays here on 1250 WHNZ at 8 a.m. And this show is all about the business owners, entrepreneurs, political leaders, and people making a difference in the Tampa Bay community. It's a show with a positive message, so I invite you to please tune in each and every day if you want to break from all the political talk and the professional complainers that seem to dot our airwaves. I decided to take a stand against that type of radio and do something positive for the community. And what a better way to what better way to do that than to talk to all our professional business owners and people making a difference out there in the community. One of which I've got on the phone right now, Jessica Ravelli, CEO and founder of Working Women of Tampa Bay and sponsor of this Wednesday's Working Women Wednesdays feature. Again, every Wednesdays here on That Business Show. Again, welcome to the show, Jessica Ravelli. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Jamie. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I know you had a big day yesterday. Women's Day at the Capitol was going on. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, it was lovely. I know you had Yvonne on last week, and she described a little bit about what they were going to be doing, we were going to be doing yesterday. There was about 100 of us that attended a beautiful day at the Capitol. We listened to speakers. We talked about important topics like human trafficking, domestic violence, education, affordable housing, pay equity, the minimum wage. So it was about 100 women, a full day of just discussions and speakers, and then we were able to tour the Capitol, and a lot of women for the first time got to see the Capitol and just how the legislative process works. And then the day ended with a beautiful ceremony inducting 3 women into the Florida Hall of Fame. Yvonne was presiding over that ceremony, and Fran Powers, who you actually had 2 weeks ago with Power Stories, was there. Some of her girls were there to provide the entertainment before and after the ceremony. So just a fantastic day. It was really an opportunity for women to see firsthand, what gets done in Tallahassee during those 2 months of session, and to have their voices heard on, issues that are near and dear to their heart. And we also got to hear some of the bills that are up for debate on the floor over the next month and change. And we were able to kind of weigh in on some of those topics, too. So just an overall fantastic day. I'm really excited for the guest that you have in studio today, Julie McAdoo with Refresher Nest Cleaning. Really has some great insight on what female veterans, what kind of resources there are out there for female veterans to get into entrepreneurship. And Teresa Turner, who's with Tax Happens, does my taxes.
and we're in tax season right now, so yeah, a lot of people need to be paying attention to the next segment here coming up.
Exactly, and when it comes down to it, you have to know your numbers. That was something that was said time and time again yesterday during Women's Day at the Capitol, that when it comes to being a smart business owner, you got to know your facts and you got to know your numbers, and that's where Teresa comes in to help, really give you some insight and a positive spin on what's going on in your business. So Julie and Teresa are going to be fantastic today. I'm really excited for the guests that we have lined up.
Sounds like a plan. Jessica, thank you very much for checking in this Wednesday, and be sure to stay tuned in here and listen to the rest of the show. You sent me some great women here, and I'm very happy to be speaking with them. So again, thank you very much, Jessica.
Will do, Jamie. Okay, have a great day.
Thanks, Jessica. That was Jessica Ravelli, CEO and founder of Working Women of Tampa Bay, and you can learn more about their organization at the website workingwomenoftambabay.com. And again, it's a weekly feature here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni. Every Wednesdays, we'll be featuring 2 professional women from the organization, the Working Women of Tampa Bay. Again, workingwomenoftambabay.com. Let's go ahead and bring on my first guest here, Teresa Turner, who believes honesty and integrity is the cornerstone of business. Utilizing more than 15 years of public accounting experience, Teresa is a small business owner servicing small businesses and individuals, and the owner of Tax Happens. Teresa, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Jamie.
So tell me a little bit about why you decided to become a CPA.
I became a mom at a very young age, and you always hear the saying, you can count on two things, death and taxes.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
After half a semester of nursing school, I determined that bodily fluids weren't for me.
And that numbers were. Okay. All right, yeah.
I took a quick look at my high school transcripts and realized accounting was for me, so I went with the tax theory. Enrolled in a local community college and loved it.
So you have a nursing background, so you have a nursing degree then. You went
Heck no, I did a half a semester and didn't like it.
Okay,
as soon as they sent me to clinicals, I was done.
I was going to say, you got all the way through that and then all the way through accounting, so that's a lot of school.
No.
Okay, so you just did the one semester there, and then you got over into the numbers side of things.
Correct.
So how did you start Tax Happens? How was the evolution of that business come about?
Because I always said you can count on taxes, I always said tax happens, and
job security being a big component
they're not
of that
going
decision?
anywhere.
Right.
And whenever I was interviewing with CPA firms, I'd always say, who am I interviewing with? So and so, so and so, and so and so. You don't remember the names,
right? And
as someone who's newly married, had I gone by my name, I'd be changing the name of my business now. So people remember Tax Happens. I know Julie said she remembered it from running into me last week.
Yeah, it's a spinoff of a derogatory term. That's what my mind kind of digresses to. But hey, I remember that too. Very creative, and it keeps it into the minds of people. So very nice. How long has the business been in operations, and where are you located also?
I'm located in Riverview, and I see clients out of my office in Riverview and out of the Center Club in downtown Tampa. I actually created the LLC Tax Happens in October of 2012. I've been using it as just a sole proprietorship for about 15 years now.
One thing I always wonder is, the tax season that we're in right now, I mean, all your work seems to come in those first 3 to 4 months of the season, and then the rest of the year is much. How do you deal with those first 4 months of each year?
It's intense. I take a 3-week vacation in May.
Right. But what about all those procrastinators that file all the extensions? I myself am a
really
habitual
like them.
Procrastinator.
They are some of my favorites sometimes.
Yeah, I'm the guy who always files the extension, being self-employed, a real estate agent, and I usually file sometime in the summer. Of course, I pay a penalty and all that stuff, but it's one of those things I always put off. Do you have a lot of clients that do that, or do you have a lot of them that get it in there before?
I would say 70% of my clients, and a lot of them actually surprised me this year. I do have a deadline to get your work in if you want it by April 15th, and a whole bunch of my usual extenders said, "Oh, you're going to be so proud of me. I got it in," and I was kind of going, "Oh, thank you." Right. That time is great, but I'd rather play beat the clock for April 15th with the option of an extension versus in September and October when a lot of people are trying to get stuff together and there is no time left. We have to file with whatever we have at that time. There's no time for you to try and figure it out after that.
What does your clientele consist of primarily? Do you deal with all range of people? Is there a certain niche market that you're involved in?
It is. I run the gamut. Small businesses and individuals. There's a size that a business will become where I can't provide them the services they need and deserve. One of my niches is to be personally available, not to pass them off to staff. So when they grow beyond a certain point, I will refer them to some great CPA firms in the area that I have relationships with. I work with a lot of average Joes who might have their own 9-to-5 job and have a second business, or who did that for years and now have jumped off the business ship and are 100% running their own small business. A lot of people are involved in multi-level marketing, so the husband might have a business and the wife might be selling Mary Kay, Avon. The list every year grows more than I can define.
All right, so I'm a new business owner, let's say, and I have no idea what to do, and I come and I see you, Miss Accountant. What advice do you give me? I mean, there's all kinds of different structures, LLCs, LLPs, triple LPs. I don't know what S Corp, C Corp. How do you advise the typical small business owner when he walks into your office? What do I do?
First of all, I want to find out what they've been doing. A lot of people just get started. They haven't created anything, or sometimes a little scarily, they have created something and they're not really sure what.
Right.
Florida makes it really easy for you to just log on for an affordable price and create a business. So a lot of people, if you're just doing something and that's it, you're a sole proprietor, it's just you. If you've got someone with you, then you're a partnership. If you've created an LLC, it's a similar concept. You're just a sole proprietorship. Or
is it ever advisable to start a business as a sole proprietor? Doesn't that obviously expose you to a ton of liability?
It would depend on what you're doing. I always say talk to an attorney. When in doubt, create something that gives you a protection. An attorney is the person to truly tell you what's better, an LLC or a corporation. They don't offer you the same protection. I personally will not help someone create an LLC or a corporation if it's multiple individuals who aren't husband and wife, because it's easier to get a divorce than it is to get out of a business relationship.
Yeah, I was listening to somebody yesterday talking about, it was an attorney, it was at the Florida Small Business Forum, and he was talking about, I help people, put the LLCs together. I don't help divorce them. That's a whole other attorney's field right there.
It really is, and I actually I said, talk to that person. Even if you've already done it and you don't have the paperwork, go talk to that attorney while you're still getting along. And even if that person you're working with is the best person you could ever work with, when they pass away, do you want to work with their parents or their children or their spouse? People don't think about that. And if they don't have the proper structure, which accountants are not the people to set that up, it's an attorney who specializes in that field.
Now, LLCs seem to be the popular format. Everybody seems to have an LLC. How do they differ from corporations?
From a tax perspective, they're just more flexible. You create an LLC, it's just you. Your options off the bat are you can be a single-member LLC. You simply report it, attach a form to your 1040. If there's two people, you can be a partnership. Based on what's going on and for numerous reasons, you can elect to be an S-Corp. It's great. If you're an S-Corp and you don't want to do that anymore, you can downgrade and become a single-member LLC again.
Yeah, I'm a real estate professional. I mean, that's what this is not my normal job here. I go sell real estate the rest of the day. And when I started selling real estate, I had no idea what I was doing. Luckily, my broker told me very early on, go see, an accountant and get incorporated. So I went down there and I was like, I need to get incorporated. I didn't really know what to do. So they set me up as a PA, a professional association. Right. I think I'm an S-Corp or something a little bit.
You would have made an election to be an S-Corp.
Yeah, I think that's the only incorporation format that realtors are allowed. And S-Corps basically defer the taxes to what flows directly to your personal returns a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the structure of an S-Corp.
The plus of an S-Corp is you make an election to be treated as an S-Corp. It's a separate entity, but it's not a taxable entity. So you'll file an informational return with the IRS, and it basically tells the IRS what income this business made and what shareholders are going to report that income on their personal return. The plus of an S-Corp is all that income is not subject to self-employment tax. So as a business grows and they think, oh, I never have to pay self-employment tax, no. It's real important that you make sure you're taking part of that income as wages, especially like you as a realtor. You are providing a service that is subject to self-employment tax, so you do have to take those wages.
Yeah, and I'm an employee of my corporation, which is just Jamie Meloni, PA, and then I pay myself through paychecks. And
right.
But I think I'm avoiding Social Security tax or something.
You're minimizing it.
That's what my account
only
explains.
Those wages are going to be subject to self-employment taxes, and the rest of the income will be subject to income tax, but it won't be subject to that self-employment tax. Whereas in an LLC, a single-member LLC that didn't elect, all that income is going to be subject to self-employment tax. Same thing with the sole proprietor. And a lot of times, I'm going to just put this out there, payroll companies really push people to do payroll. If you're not an S corporation and you are the owner of the company, don't spend money on payroll. All your income is already treated as subject to self-employment tax. You don't need to do it.
Yeah, I use paychecks myself. It's a great ease of operation right there. I go in there once a week and just hit a couple of buttons, and it pays me and my staff as well. And I think it's like $59 a month. And I also have set up a 401k through it and everything. So I know a lot of realtors and self-employed people don't really understand how to pay themselves properly. But is it really important, though, that when people start a corporation, that they make themselves an employee and pay themselves regularly?
As an S corporation, yes, or even a C corp, which you completely avoid, by the way. If you're a corporation in Florida, you want to be an S corp, because C corporations, which is by default if you're a corporation, are subject to income tax by the state of Florida.
Isn't there some, if it's more than so many members, you've got to be a C corp? Is
correct.
How many is that where you have to be?
It's 100 members, but it depends on relationships. So you could have several people who are considered one member because they're all related. Once you're that big, then the C Corp structure would be required and probably a better situation.
All right. Great information. Got to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're going to get some more small business tips from Teresa Wells-Turner of Tax Happens here on That Business Show on Working Women Wednesdays. And again, you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566.
Hey there, it's Lynn Wise, the founder of Wise Business Advisors and Contractor Business Alliance. I am a certified value builder advisor, and I help business owners build a company that will allow them to have the business that they dreamed of when they started. Why did you go into business for yourself? I'm sure it was not to work 100 hours a week with no work-life balance and no financial freedom. What am I talking about? I'm talking about building a business that provides value to you and your family now and in the future. You can learn about the 8 essential areas of a business that you must build to have a business that can be an asset for your future. Go to wisebusinessadvisors.com and take the Value Builder score. It is free and will deliver your score immediately on how you are doing on building a valuable business for you and your family. Or call me at 772-834-8513 to learn more about the Value Builder system.
Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Hi, neighbor.
Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We are still seeing a stop-and-go ride on the Veterans Expressway southbound from Hutchinson down to Hillsborough Avenue. Also seeing stop-and-go traffic now on I-75 in the northbound direction from 301 to just past State Road 60. And still seeing heavy northbound delays on 275 from the hump of the Howard Franklin to West Shore. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
Partly cloudy, high 82. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Tomorrow, a 20% rain chance, high 81.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business here on this Working Women Wednesdays feature. Again, a weekly feature on That Business Show every Wednesdays here on 1250 WHNZ on That Business Show. We're talking with Teresa Turner of Tax Happens about small business ownership, tax structures, things of that nature. And before the break, we were talking about S corporations and C corporations, and there's so much out there that business owners have to know. And one of the big challenges that business owners face are on bookkeeping. What are some of the tips that you can give small business owners out there on keeping good records?
When new clients come in, chances are they don't have any records. So my first advice is make sure you have a separate bank account. Regardless of your structure, you're required to keep separate books and records. It's not clearly defined how those books and records are kept, but at the end of the day, 12 bank statements will sum up your year and be a really good starting point. From there, we all know about QuickBooks. It is a great resource. Don't jump into it unless you know you're going to learn how to use it. Clients will come in, they'll go and buy the program. 3 months later, they'll be calling, I wasted $300. right. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's a challenging program in the beginning. I went through that myself, yes.
It is. The point at which you really need a program like that is when you really have receivables and payables. Really small business can tell you all their receivables at any given moment in time.
Yeah, a lot of people just use an Excel spreadsheet.
There's nothing wrong. I have clients who use Excel. I have clients who use a notebook. They have a notebook for every year. Those bank statements, those receipts, keep all those receipts, A big error that people do is they transfer their personal money into the bank account when they first get started and they don't track it. And then we're trying to figure out what's from clients and what's from you. and we don't want to overstate your income. But there's a lot of free resources out there. I personally haven't used it, but I know one client recently recommended Wave.com. Never used it. Mint.com.
Never heard of those sites. Yeah.
They're supposed to be free, and another client said that she's trying it too, and I'm getting feedback on it. I don't have firsthand experience, but free is a good price.
Well, talk to me about with keeping receipts. One thing I'm bad about is when I pay on my debit card, I don't like to keep the receipts. I think, oh, it's on my bank statement. I'm covered. In the event of an audit, would the bank statement cover me, or am I going to get in trouble because I don't have all these little
Will
paper
the bank
receipts?
statement cover you? Yes, kind of. Those receipts, I never want to see them unless there's certain ones I'm going to ask for. It's good to have them. Don't necessarily have to organize them and
But
everything.
all the business dinners and all that, I hate keeping paper. That's
business dinners are you want to make sure you at least document that it was a business purpose. Obviously, if they see that you went to, Byrne's Steakhouse, they know it was a restaurant, it was meals and entertainment. If it's qualified expense because you were discussing and covering business, it's 50% deductible. They're not necessarily going to ask for the receipts. The receipts they ask for are gray areas. If you shop at Walmart and spend $300, you can buy your groceries or you can buy office supplies.
Right, yeah, you could
They're
have...
going to ask for that receipt.
Right, yeah, you could have, one ream of paper and $300 worth of, beer and, wine or something on there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if you buy gas, you charge Hess. They're never going to ask for a $30 receipt from Hess. You spend $2 at Hess, they're going to know you bought a cup of coffee,
What's the prevalence of audits out there for the different type of tax structures? Like what I do, the S corp and the PA. Is there a high prevalence of tax audits? What are some of the red flags?
Statistically, S corps in and of themselves are not audited as high of a rate as the Schedule C, which is why when there's an LLC, I do encourage that S corp for many reasons. There might be a time and a place, perhaps not from day one, but S corps in and among themselves are not a high audit risk.
Why? Why do they stay away from the S corps?
No idea. There's nothing to really audit.
Is it just that
if
they're
you
just
audit it, you're not. There's nothing. There's no tax in that entity. You care about that individual.
It's probably because they're so small and they figured these guys don't have any records. They don't want to go in there and just get involved. I couldn't imagine being an auditor, walking into somebody's business and trying to figure out what in the hell they're doing. That's probably why they stay away. I'd rather deal with the Walmarts and stuff where we can go in there and they have nice structures and stuff. And
those Schedule Cs, when you don't have that S corp, are more apt to, because people literally are throwing together records, making up numbers. If you've got a Schedule C and you've got the earned income credit, your audit risk is off the charts.
When you say Schedule C, define that a little bit more for me.
If you're a sole proprietor and that's all you've done, by default, it's just you, it's a Schedule C. If you're an LLC and it's just you, it's a Schedule C, which is just a form that reports income and expenses, one page, and it gets attached to your 1040.
Okay, so one of the best reasons to get incorporated is to stay away from the audits then, you're correct. If you're a
LLC or a corp can become an S corp.
Okay.
And one of many reasons to become an S corp is to decrease your audit risk versus that Schedule C.
So when does somebody need a professional? Talk to me about this.
As soon as you start your business, you should consult with a professional. When you talk to that professional, if they're just telling you the services they can sell you, it's not the right professional for you. You need someone who's going to sit down and tell you what you can do, what you shouldn't do, and when you need to hire a professional. When you first get started, run everything through that bank account, keep track of what's personal, make sure all your business expenses are through it, and then perhaps just see your professional on an annual basis. If you want to do your return yourself, you can. As you grow, you're going to want to meet with an accountant.
What are the costs for setting up a corporation when I walk into an accountant's office for the first time?
It runs the gamut. I will be the first to say I recommend going to an attorney to set up the LLC of the corporation. I know a lot of fellow CPAs out there may not agree with me, but there's so much legal documents behind it that you should also get. It really depends on the professional where you're located. The actual cost of creating an LLC or a corporation on the Florida website is about $150. One very important thing, on May 1st, if you're in Florida, you need to renew it. If you don't renew it by May 1st, there's a $400 penalty you cannot get out of.
Yeah, my accountant always sends me a letter at the beginning of the year. For basically, I pay them like $50, and then they go in there and renew it. So, got about 30 seconds left. Real quick, Teresa, rehash your organization where people can get some more information and look your services up.
TaxHappens.com. You can find out about me. You can actually find fee ranges for my services, and there's a page full of links with really helpful information. IRS.gov is a great source, and myflorida.net is a great website. And just check out taxhappens.com or give me a call.
All right. Thank you very much, Teresa, for a great interview. Very informative, and I got a lot out of that interview. So thank you very much. And again, we're just talking with Teresa Turner of Tax Happens. Again, learn more at taxhappens.com. Coming back from the break, we're going to be talking with Julie McAdoo here on Working Women Wednesdays on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Whether you have city water or well water, Connecticut can make it great water. That's 1-888-WATER-99.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One of the many things that people don't realize about medical malpractice is that the same doctors commit malpractice over and over again. 6% of the doctors commit 60% of the medical malpractice. The truth is, for the most part, our medical care is excellent. We see cases where a timely C-section could have prevented a birth injury or a birth defect, cancer misdiagnosis depriving you of fighting chance, and simple mistakes not made by competent doctors. The Institute of Medicine reports that 98,000 people die every year as a result of medical malpractice. What may surprise you most is that local doctors in our community help us in evaluating these claims. Good doctors understand and want to help all of us receive better care and hold those responsible who do it over and over again. We know who they are. You don't. For a free consultation, call Morgan & Morgan or visit forthepeople.com. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Offices, Tampa.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
Looking for a way to increase your business? Ever thought about advertising on radio? iHeartMedia can customize a campaign to meet your specific needs. Call 844-BUY-RADIO. That's 844-BUY-RADIO. Or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We have a crash now in Pinellas County reported on 22nd Avenue North at 4th Street. Looks like there may be a lane blocked here. Heavy delays continue southbound on 275 from Beers Avenue to Sly, and a very slow ride northbound on 275 from the hump of the Howard Franklin to West Shore. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamston and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
Winds, Weather Center forecast. Sunshine today with a few scattered clouds. We'll see the temperatures get into the mid-80s for the high. And tonight's lows, upper 60, near 70. Impact Radio 1250 winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Learn more about my show over at TampaBayRadio.com, where you can listen to shows on demand. Just head over to the show info tab. Also, on the homepage, you got the guest network set up now. Click on that, and you can catch all of the shows, past interviews, the videos. Just click on the show card of the guest, and you'll hear their interviews right there. All my shows are streamed live. So, again, if you head over to TampaBayRadio.com, there is a button there for the live stream, so you can see us here in studio, in addition to listening to us over there on 1250 WHNZ. Also, you can connect with me on all the social networking sites. I'm over on Facebook.com/ThatBusinessShow, Twitter under the handle Jamie_Meloni. Also available on iTunes. Just search for That Business Show. Shows are usually posted up within 24 to 48 hours of the airing. So, again, please help support the show by by supporting the show over on things like iTunes and Facebook, and also over on TampaBayRadio.com. Also, again, this show is all about talking with our small business owners and entrepreneurs that are, making a difference in the community. And if you're a fellow business owner or a community leader, or even if you just got a great story that you want to share with the community, feel free to reach out to me. The best way to get in touch with me is to send me an email, jamie@TampaBayRadio.com. I'm always looking for content, so please feel free to reach out to me. Again, jamie@TampaBayRadio.com. There is no charge to come on to the show. So, again, please send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. And also, in case you didn't know, I sell real estate. And so on my site, you'll also find plenty of real estate listings and my pre-listed properties over there on TampaBayRadio.com. And if you're in the market to sell your home, just click on the Sell Your Home tab on the home page there, and I'll send you over a free home valuation. And you might be surprised what your home is worth. There's values have come up over the last couple years, some 25% in some of the newer communities in southeast Hillsborough County and the Riverview, Apollo Beach areas, North Tampa. So now is a great time to be considering selling your home, especially if you bought around 2012. So again, learn more about myself and the show, as well as my real estate background, over at TampaBayRadio.com. It's Working Women Wednesdays here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni. Again, a weekly feature that's done here on That Business Show, sponsored by Jessica Ravelli's very influential networking group, Working Women of Tampa Bay. Learn more about them over at WorkingWomenOfTampaBay.com. Go and bring on my second guest for the show, another member of Working Women of Tampa Bay, Julie McAdoo, who is a local entrepreneur and a veteran of the United States Air Force, where she served for 7.5 years as an aircraft navigation officer on C-130s. During her time in service, she served 2 tours in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom. She left military service in 2006 to have a family and pursue an MBA, which she earned in 2012. She and her husband, a retired Air Force veteran, own 2 cleaning businesses in Tampa: Office Pride Commercial Cleaning Services, a franchise, and Refresh Your Nest Services, I should say, which is a recent startup of theirs. So, Julie, welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to hear more about your military background and the transition that you made into entrepreneurship. So, talk to me about the services, the service that you gave to our country.
Well, I got a lot out of it. It was a really tremendous experience. I'm glad I did it when I was young. There's no way I could do it now.
Why do you say there's no way you can do it now?
Well, I mean,
being a family and have
everything's
kids and
possible, but it just, I'm kind of used to the comfortable life, and oftentimes when you're in military service, you're in situations that are uncomfortable,
right?
Like tents,
right? I can understand
in the middle of a desert,
right? And you were on aircraft carriers, was it?
No, C-130, which is
C-130?
It's a transport airplane in the military.
Okay, I had the privilege of speaking with Carrie Lorenz last week. She was the first female F-14 Navy's Tomcat fighter pilot. A very inspirational interview, and she talked about the difficulties and the challenges she faced in getting into the cockpit, because they wouldn't allow women to fly and stuff. Did you face a lot of pushback being a female in the military, or what was your experience in the military as a female?
Definitely, it's a very masculine environment, to say the least, and there are some holdovers from, or were at the time that I was in, from the older era. I think we used to call those guys the old heads, because they were, they had been there before women were allowed to fly. In my career field, 2% were female.
Yeah.
So 98% were dudes. And
dudes, huh? Right.
And there weren't a whole lot of female pilots either. So. Yeah, but
what was your inspiration? What was your inspiration in joining the military originally? How did you make that transition? From just being a young lady into the military. How did that happen?
Oh boy. Well, I had an English degree, and everyone's like, "So are you going to teach?" And I said no. And I had a job doing technical writing, and that wasn't the most fun thing for me to do. And one day I was just frustrated, and I called my dad and said, "Dad, I really don't like the job that I've got right now." He said, "Well, why don't you join the Air Force?" And, because he had retired from the Air Force. So I said, I had thought about that. I think I'll go talk to a recruiter. And so I ended up, long story short, about 6 months later, joining the Air Force and going off to learn how to be a C-130 navigator and travel and see the world. And so I had always wanted to travel and see the world, and I had always wanted to go to Alaska, because when I was a teenager, I'd see the commercials on TV for Cruise Alaska, and I just always wanted to do that. And the great thing about the military is that, I guess if you're lucky, your dreams can come true, because my first assignment was there.
Right.
To Alaska.
I've always wanted to visit Alaska. I love the reality shows and the documentaries and things on Alaska. What part of Alaska were you in?
Anchorage.
Wow. Did you ever go out into the remote regions where you got to take the dog sleds and stuff out to? Or
We did. Part of our mission there was to fly out to the really remote areas and resupply the radar line, the radar sites. You know how Sarah Palin would say that she could see Alaska? We would go
see
supply
Russia.
the guy,
See Russia,
Russia from her front door. Right. So we would go and resupply the sites that, no kidding, were keeping an eye on what the neighbors were doing.
One of my regrets is not going into the military. I mentioned that a number of times on my show. I spoke with a recruiter out of high school, took the ASVAB test, and I was about ready to go, but at the last moment, I couldn't make that commitment. I have a fear of commitment, I think, and that's why I'm also still single here at age 37 and just working every single day. I just can't make that commitment. I was afraid I was going to get in the military and the officer was going to yell at me and I was going to cuss him out or something to get dishonorably discharged. So I commend you, for your service, and I always thank our veterans for going out into the service and everything and doing for our country. Something one of my regrets. I wish I had done that. What age did you go into the military?
I was 23.
23, and when did you come out?
Let's see, age or year? 2006.
2006?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see any live action over there, or were you pretty much just behind the scenes over there?
I mean, we were in the air, and so I remember seeing stuff that was going on the ground, and hearing things and being at airfields that were under attack. But as far as me seeing live rounds, other than, what I saw going on beneath the plane, no.
So now you came back from the military. What was the transition like? Talk to me a little bit about, the first year back. Did you immediately go into entrepreneurship, or what was that transition like?
No, I actually went immediately into being a stay-at-home mom, which was great. That's what I had wanted to do. And then I didn't really have to transition from the military until a few years ago, because when you're married to the military, you're still in that military cocoon, and your life still kind of belongs to the military, even if you don't want it to. So we moved, we were in Arkansas at the time that I got out, and we moved here to MacDill. And so didn't really transition out of the military until I opened up my business, and I looked around and realized that the only people I knew were my neighbors and the people in the military that, PCS, which means move in and out of the base all the time, so real transient friend base. And so when I started the business, I'm like, golly, I need to know some more people in this community and put down some roots. So I went to the chamber, and that's where it all started.
Okay, yeah. Talk to me about resources that the military veterans have for entrepreneurship. I know a lot of people returning from war overseas or from the military have some trouble making that transition back into the workplace. First of all, did you have some trouble making that transition? And also, what were the resources that you found to help you in this path?
It is a huge adjustment to go from such a very strong system. So when you go into the military, you go through basic training, man, they teach you exactly what they want you to do, when they want you to do it, how they want you to do it, and you adopt that, and then, you only think where they give you the free reign to do so. And so getting out on the outside, you have this expectation that, everybody shows up to things on time. Everybody calls ahead when they're going to be late or need to cancel something. It gives you plenty of notice. Mm-hmm. So finding out how the civilians work and that they
civilians work, showing up late, not always keeping our appointments. So I guess one of the challenges that you found was the lack of structure. Then you're saying? Yeah,
the lack of structure and the unpredictable nature of how people are. Because you're really used to, this is how we are in the military, and you get out there, and then there's all new rules, and the rules change from business to business and person to person. Right. So that was, I think that has a lot to do with the difficulty of transition, really. Now, you said one of the resources that you found early on was the Tampa Chamber, correct? The South Tampa Chamber of Commerce.
How did they help you? Yeah.
They taught me this thing called networking.
Right. And something I try to do a lot of. Something this show's very good at. But go ahead and elaborate.
Yeah, I needed to make connections. I needed to put down roots, and so I went to the chamber and started going to networking events, and of course made all the networking mistakes that you can make early on. And then, little by little, they mentored me, and I built friendships, and they kind of showed me the ropes, and it was a wonderful environment to start in. The South Tampa Chamber, it's very very friendly and warm and opening.
Okay, so step one, network. Get out there
Yes,
and meet your fellow business owners.
Because as a transitioning military member, one thing that really opened my eyes is going to that, seeing all the people, meeting them, and seeing all the different career fields that are out there and business options that are out there, how people make a living when they're not in the military. You know, it's just amazing. You can be anything and do anything you want. Right. There's not just a handful of career fields that are available to you. People make money in the most crazy ways that you wouldn't even imagine.
Absolutely.
So I think anybody who has not decided what they want to be when they grow up yet should go networking and just find out what all the options are that are out there.
What are some of the other resources I see you put down on this talking point sheet? SCORE, SBDC, SBA Patriot, Express Lending. Talk to me about some of the financial resources that you use to help get into entrepreneurship.
Well, to be perfectly honest, there's nobody out there. Well, wouldn't say there's nobody, but it's really hard to find. Somebody out there who's willing to just hand you some money and hope for the best that you're going to make a success out of entrepreneurship.
True. Investors want to see a return, as do banks and things. Absolutely.
Anybody whose money that you would want to take in that instance is probably going to want to have a hand in helping you succeed, because they want to ensure that their investment makes them money. So if you're looking for a magic bullet and someone to say, oh, here's $50,000, go start your business, ain't going to happen.
So there was no real resource for you as a veteran to come back financially, at least, correct? But you probably had a number of people that were more willing to help you as a veteran, I would think, versus myself, who doesn't have that. Did you find that you had that advantage, at least? As
far as money necessarily, no. But as far as free advice, which is worth its weight in gold, because really it all comes down to you learning the ropes. No amount of money is going to fix your problem until you learn what you're supposed to be doing or how to do it a better way. So you've got SCORE, which is the retired executives that'll counsel you for free.
SCORE, SCORE,
yep,
that's an
SCORE.
acronym, okay, SCORE, okay.
And that's a wonderful organization, and you call them up, you set an appointment, they'll talk with you about every aspect of your business, whether you're in the startup phase and building your business plan, or a mature company and you need to figure out what's wrong with your company and get it set straight. They're somehow under the SBA also.
SBA lending, okay.
As far as SBA lending, the Patriot Express, so if you don't have the cash on hand and you do need to get a loan, that's an SBA-backed loan. So
SBA Patriot Express lending, okay. People that are listening, put that into Google. SBA Patriot Express lending. Go ahead.
Right, and so that's an option as far as getting some money. It isn't free.
Right, but it's a resource that people
need. It is a
Yeah,
resource.
that's what you got to do as an entrepreneur. You got to use your resources, and first of all, you just got to know about it. A lot of times you just don't know about something, and
right.
And a lot of my success comes from somebody saying, "You need to know about this." Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you for telling me that.
And that's where networking comes in. And so, as far as military networking. Find the local VFW, find the local Legion post, and go visit them, because you've got a lot of folks that have already gone before, veterans and retirees that are happy to help those who come after.
Yeah, some great resources, some great information. Got to take a quick break. If you're just tuning in, we're talking with Julie McAdoo on here on Working Women Wednesdays on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566.
Hey there, it's Lynn Wise, the founder of Wise Business Advisors and Contractor Business Alliance. I am a certified value builder advisor, and I help business owners build a company that will allow them to have the business that they dreamed of when they started. Why did you go into business for yourself? I'm sure it was not to work 100 hours a week with no work-life balance and no financial freedom. What am I talking about? I'm talking about building a business that provides value to you and your family now and in the future. You can learn about the 8 essential areas of a business that you must build to have a business that can be an asset for your future. Go to wisebusinessadvisors.com and take the Value Builder score. It is free and will deliver your score immediately on how you are doing on building a valuable business for you and your family. Or call me at 772-834-8513 to learn more about the Value Builder system.
Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
Looking for a way to increase your business? Ever thought about advertising on radio? iHeartMedia can customize a campaign to meet your specific needs. Call 844-BUY-RADIO. That's 844-BUY-RADIO. Or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We are still seeing a very slow ride on the Veterans Expressway southbound from Ehrlich down to Hillsborough Avenue. Stop-and-go traffic continues 275 southbound from Beers Avenue to Sly. Still seeing heavy northbound delays on 275 from the hub of the Howard Franklin to Kennedy. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamston and Udelwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
Partly cloudy, high 82. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Tomorrow, a 20% rain chance, high 81.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business on this Working Women Wednesdays feature. Again, you'll find this show on weekdays at 8 a.m., and you'll also find the Working Women Wednesdays feature on every Wednesday, sponsored by Jessica Ravelli's very influential networking group, the Working Women of Tampa Bay. Learn more at workingwomenoftampabay.com. We're talking with Julie McAdoo, a local entrepreneur and veteran of the United States Air Force. And in the last segment, we're talking about, primarily your military background, but you are an entrepreneur and own a couple of local businesses here. Talk to me about these. I see the first, Office Pride Commercial Cleaning Services, and then you have a startup as well. Talk to me about which is which here.
Okay, so Refresh Your Nest is a house cleaning company that I started back in 2012. That was the first business after I got my MBA, so that was kind of my first foray into things, and so that's my baby.
Refresh Your Nest, is that the franchise, or is that one the startup?
That's the startup.
That's the startup, okay.
That's the startup. So ground up, started actually May of 2012. I think May 5th, Cinco de Mayo 2012, was our very first customer that we ever cleaned for. Mm-hmm. It was a move-out cleaning, so if it was a disaster, luckily they moved away.
Right. Exactly. Go ahead.
So there's a lot of lessons learned in the first year. And then about 18 months into it, we discovered Office Pride Commercial Cleaning Services and ended up purchasing a franchise for that. So now we have the two companies. They run alongside each other, but they're very different.
Why did you get so you had the one startup, cleaning company, and then you went to the franchise. Why did you pick up a second business, and why a franchise?
Well, we weren't looking to pick up a second business. We had the first one, and we really just wanted to focus on residential. People would ask us, do you do commercial? And we would say, no, we really just want to focus on being the best residential company we can be. And then we were actually approached. Office Pride moved into the Tampa area and was looking for its first franchisees in this area. It's been around for over 20 years and is nationwide, but and had been very active up in the panhandle of Florida, but just came to Tampa. And we were recommended to them, and we sat down with the founder of Office Pride, and before you knew it, we really liked it and thought, well, if we're going to do commercial, this is the right way to go. In fact, because we hadn't been looking for it and they approached us, I started doing my homework and found a lot of bad reviews and bad information about other commercial cleaning service opportunities that are out there that were perhaps less expensive to get into, but I didn't feel like their business model was right.
Yeah, I see your website for the Office Pride commercial cleaning services. That's commercialcleaningtampa.net.
Mm-hmm.
Again, commercialcleaningtampa.net. That's for the commercial cleaning services. Your home residential services is nestrefresh.com. I'm always curious about franchises and what type of cost and challenges were there in setting that up?
Honestly, if I knew then what I know now, the franchise is a great first business to get into.
So you're saying the
versus
franchise? Okay, so you wish you had done the franchise first. Why do you say that?
It's easier because of the fact. I mean, it's not. I don't want to make it sound like it's easy, but because of the fact that they have already built a system, and that you are just adopting a system, there's so much that you have to learn when you just decide to open up a business. There's that first year of Refresh Your Nest, I can kind of write off as hard knocks,
right?
Lessons learned. Whereas that learning cycle was greatly shortened when we did the franchise. Now, not all franchises are created equally. I think that we ended up with a terrific franchise to be a part of. We've now been doing it for about 17, 18 months, and I am just over the moon with it. So I would say that if I were just getting into my very first business, I would want to do a good franchise.
Now, did the franchise allow you to finance the cost of it, or do you have to pay for the franchise all up in one fee? How does that work with that?
I think it depends on the franchise. In our case, we went ahead and paid for it up front. One of the things, if you're in the military and you have the opportunity to save your money through a thrift savings plan or something of that nature, or your Roth IRA, save your money, because when you get out, that's a great way to go ahead and launch yourself into that business. And we did that, so we were able to just go ahead and pay outright for the franchise fee. And it has been a wonderful experience. And it actually has enhanced our ability to operate our startup better, too, because we've learned a lot from the franchise.
I see on the website that you are promoting the Women-Owned Business certification. Is that something that has benefited you? Or is that something that small business owners need to be aware of? You see a lot of times where a husband will put the ownership in his wife's name, even if he's running it. Is that certification something beneficial and something that people need to really look at?
Well, I want to be clear. We have not gone through the certification process. It costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time to do that. So we haven't done that yet. And also, you have to meet certain thresholds of having been in business. We have been in business long enough for that.
But it's something that is beneficial, though, and that you definitely.
It is when you're going after a federal contract or perhaps a state or county contract, where you could be assigned points that give you a leg up on the competition. But as far as your average contract, no. And on the residential side, of course, we're just talking with homeowners, and so. Having that out there, letting people know that we're woman veteran owned on the residential side, actually, it does help. When you're talking about finding customers that resonate with you and that you can build a strong relationship with, I think a lot of times they are drawn to us by that. And so that does help as far as that goes.
No, hey, some great information. Got to wrap it up here. Been talking with Julie McAdoo here on Working Women Wednesdays on That Business Show. We can get some more information about your businesses over at nestrefresh.com and also commercialcleaningtampa.net, correct?
Correct.
All right. Julie, great interview. Thank you very much for taking some time out of your Wednesdays to come in and talk with me this morning.
Thank you.
All right. And if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to Julie McAdoo here, a local entrepreneur and owner of a couple of cleaning companies. Again, commercialcleaningtampa.net. Also, nestrefresh.com for some more information on that. And again, you've been listening to the Working Women Wednesdays feature on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni. Again, you'll find this show on here weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 WHNZ. And learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day. And again, catch me tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. Have a great day, everybody.